In the 1950s, while television commercials showed smiling housewives flipping flawless pancakes and frying thick-cut bacon, a hidden generation of solitary seniors and widows woke up to a much darker reality. With pensions stretched to the absolute breaking point and bodies tired from decades of hard labor, breakfast wasn't a cheerful family gathering. It was a frantic, silent act of survival. These forgotten men and women couldn't afford milk, eggs, or fresh meat. So they engineered completely bizarre morning meals using kitchen scraps that modern society would throw straight into the garbage bin. I am pulling back the curtain on 12 of these desperate, poor man breakfasts that kept our elders alive through freezing mornings and empty cupboards. You need to stay with me until the very end, because the incredibly clever fake egg trick at number 3 will permanently change how you look at your pantry. And the completely unregulated, hazardous morning brew at number 1 was so controversial, it was actually banned by landlords and city boarding houses. We are counting down from 12 to the most extreme survival breakfasts ever made. Number 12. The Hard-Tack coffee soak. Instead of fresh pastries, seniors would take stale, rock-hard bread heels from the week before and submerge them in black, bitter coffee until they dissolved into a warm, caffeinated mush. The great thing about this trick was that it provided instant, heavy carbohydrates to a tired body without requiring a single tooth to chew. I wonder how many of you still secretly dunk your morning toast just to feel that nostalgic, comforting warmth. Number 11. Depression-era water pancakes. When milk and eggs were completely out of the budget, they mixed plain flour, baking powder, and well water to fry out flat, dense cakes in a spoonful of saved bacon grease. The grease gave the illusion of a hearty meat breakfast, filling the kitchen with a rich smell that completely tricked a starving stomach. It just goes to show that a little bit of saved fat was literally worth its weight in gold back then. Number 10. Fried, pantry sweep, cornmeal scrapple. They would boil cornmeal with whatever tiny scraps of leftover dinner meat or gristle they had, let it set overnight in a tin, and fry thick slices of it the next morning. The beauty of this method was that it stretched one tiny bite of protein into a heavy, filling breakfast that would keep a solitary worker energized past noon. This is the kind of zero-waste kitchen mastery that modern cooks desperately need to relearn. If nobody ever showed you these meals, hit subscribe right now, because we are just getting started, and tomorrow I have saved something extra special that will change the way you think about food. Number 9. The sugar grease bread slice. For a quick burst of morning energy, widows would spread hardened bacon dripping onto a slice of cheap white bread and sprinkle it heavily with refined sugar. It sounds strange today, but that combination of pure fat and fast sugar was the ultimate fuel for starting a cold morning when the coal stove went out. You can almost imagine the distinct, salty sweet crunch that brought a tiny bit of joy to a difficult day. Number 8. Mock oatmeal boiled breadcrumbs. Real rolled oats were sometimes too expensive, so frugal seniors boiled saved, dried breadcrumbs in watered-down milk with a dash of cinnamon. The bread swelled up into a thick, creamy porridge that mimicked the texture of oatmeal perfectly for absolute pennies. It is amazing how a resourceful mind can create a comforting illusion out of literal table scraps. Number 7. The baked apple onion. When fresh fruit was impossible to find in the dead of winter, they would roast a whole yellow onion in the stove coals and sprinkle it with a pinch of brown sugar. The heat pulled the natural sweetness out of the onion, making it taste remarkably like a baked apple while providing essential vitamins to ward off sickness. I bet most people today wouldn't be brave enough to try this brilliant, frugal trick. If you remember your parents or grandparents starting their day with a meal made out of nothing, hit that like button to honor their incredible resilience. Number 6. Hobnail fried bologna cups. A single slice of cheap bologna was thrown into a dry, hot skillet until the edges curled up to form a little meat bowl, which was then filled with a spoonful of leftover mashed potatoes. This gave the satisfying feeling of a classic meat and potatoes breakfast delivering crucial calories in a few warm, salty bites. Sometimes, the cheapest cuts of meat hold the absolute best memories of our childhood. Number 5. The syrup-soaked cornflake mush. If boxed cereal went completely stale, it was never thrown out. Instead, they poured a little boiling water over the flakes and drenched them in dark molasses or cheap corn syrup. It turned into a sticky, dense pudding that warmed the belly and gave an immediate sugar rush to get stiff joints moving in the morning. It's a humble reminder that our ancestors simply refused to let a single crumb go to waste. Number 4. Salted lard and raw onion sandwiches. This was a sharp, aggressive morning meal where thick slices of raw white onion were pressed into cold lard on stale bread to wake up the senses. The sharp bite of the onion cleared morning congestion instantly, while the dense lard provided slow-burning fuel for an aging body facing a long day alone. This is exactly the kind of tough, no-nonsense fuel that built the backbone of America. We are uncovering even more lost American kitchen history in our next video, so make sure you subscribe and your notifications are turned on so you don't miss out. Number 3. The fake egg, yellow tomato fry. When eggs were rationed or too pricey, clever seniors fried slices of yellow tomatoes in bacon fat, which looked remarkably like a sunny-side-up egg on the breakfast plate. The acidity of the tomato mixed with the salty grease provided a savory, bright flavor that satisfied the morning craving for a hot breakfast. It is a beautiful example of how eating with your eyes first was a vital survival tactic during lean times. Number 2. Bottom-of-the-barrel flour gravy. They browned plain white flour in an empty skillet until it toasted, then slowly whisked in salted water to create a dark, savory gravy eaten over a single piece of toast. It completely bypassed the need for expensive meat drippings, yet it coated the stomach in a thick, warm layer that completely shut down hunger pangs. You really have to respect the genius of turning simple dust and water into a filling morning feast. Number 1. The hazardous kerosene-boiled peanuts. When the cooking gas was turned off for unpaid bills, desperate seniors would boil raw, cheap peanuts in a tin directly over an open indoor kerosene heater for their morning protein. The dangerous fumes and extreme fire risk made this highly controversial, but the salty, soft peanuts provided the only breakfast available to keep them alive. This raw, unfiltered reality proves that true survival often meant risking everything just to start the day with something in your stomach. These 12 breakfasts are a testament to a generation that never gave up, even when they woke up to an empty kitchen and a freezing house. They didn't ask for pity. They just fired up the skillet, used what they had, and faced the day with quiet dignity. If you remember watching your grandparents eat one of these frugal morning meals, please share your memories in the comments below. Let's make sure these stories of American grit are never forgotten. Stay strong, stay resourceful, and I'll see you next time.